and welcome along to episode 45 of the All Things Leeds podcast with myself, Ed McIntyre, and joining me, as always, in the studio is my co-host, Charles Foster. Hello.
Hi mate, you alright?
Yeah, not bad. 1 year. One year we've been doing these podcasts. This week marks 1 year since we started the podcast.
It feels like it's been far longer than 1 year.
It does, doesn't it? Leeds United, mate. I feel as though if we're doing a podcast on any other club, it wouldn't feel like that. But
no, nowhere near as stressful as following this club is, that's for sure.
1 year, I can't believe it.
Long time, yeah.
Yeah, 1 year anniversary of the podcast this week. We'll discuss that a little bit later on. But also joining us in the studio, if you don't know him, you'll definitely know his paintings in and around Leeds. He's got many names on Twitter. It's @PantsDanny. He's known as the Burley Banksy, but his actual name, Andy McVeigh, is here. Hello.
Good evening. Straight from work, so apology for the slightly formal dress.
No worries. You good?
I'm good, yeah. I'm a bit tired, but I've had some coffee. I've had sausage, eggs and chips.
Good tea, that.
In Morrison's classic tea. The classic tea. You can't beat sausage, eggs and chips in Morrison's, and I'm here, and I'm ready to go now. Fueled up.
Really do appreciate you
it's all right, man.
being
It's all
here,
right.
making
Nice
his debut on the All Things Leeds podcast. Well, of course, we'll look back on Leeds United's last couple of games. That 2-1 win away at Luton last Saturday and a 1-0 win away at Reading on Tuesday night. So we'll also look at the Leeds United under-23s and some other bits of news as well before looking ahead to Leeds United's next game against Middlesbrough at Elland Road this Saturday. Plenty of stuff coming up here on the All Things Leeds podcast. We're back. 1 year. I honestly cannot believe it's 1 year since we started doing these podcasts. We've obviously missed 7 weeks, otherwise it would be episode 52.
Yeah, because we'd have been seriously struggling for material over the summer holidays when there's no kind of rumours or anything like that.
And also Christmas as well. We weren't doing podcasts over Christmas because the studio was closed. So,
yes, that was we did struggle to do them then as well.
Yeah, but we only missed 7, which isn't too bad.
We're still classing this as the anniversary. So.
Yeah, but it is the anniversary. 1 year this week since we started doing these podcasts, and what a journey it's been. Thank you to you, Charles, for joining me regularly in the studio. Really do appreciate it. I probably don't tell you enough how much I appreciate you coming up here for free. We do it for free. We don't get paid for any of this.
It's a beautiful moment here.
I know, it's really emotional. Probably the nicest thing he's ever said to me.
Probably. But thank you as well to everyone who tunes in every week to listen or watch. We're, of course, on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you to everyone who tunes in. We really do appreciate the support. Here's to the next year.
It's the next year.
Of course, we had to make this episode special, so we bring in Andy McVeigh, the Burley Banksy. Hello, more formal welcome to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So where did the name Burley Banksy come from?
That's a good question. Somebody was asking me that the other day. I was vaguely aware that I might have come up with it, but then my mate Kerry said no, she came up with it. And then my mate Paul the other day got annoyed with me when we were watching the Luton game because he said he came up with it. So I really don't know. But it's I don't know. I'm from Burley, and I'm sure my friend Kerry said you're like a really crap Banksy, basically. without the fame and without any money and kudos and all the rest of it. And she just sort of said it as a Mickey take, really. And she said, you've got to start putting your name on these boxes, I suppose. Like, you've got to sign them somehow, kind of thing. And I didn't want to put my real name on them, really. So. And
you didn't want to put your Twitter name on it?
No. Well, I did. No, I did start doing that eventually.
Yeah, but, I've seen one with the @PantsDanny.
Yeah, my mate said, well, you should do that, really. So I kind of gave in the end. But Danny's my son, you see. And Pants is an old nickname of mine that I have always had for a long time because I once said when I was about 17, oh, Pants. Instead of saying, oh, crap, or something, I just said, oh, and then forever, just one of them things that you cannot get rid of for the rest of your life.
Which one do you prefer? If someone would stop you in the street, what would you prefer?
Andy's fine. Andy's fine, yeah.
I know someone called, whose nickname was Jimmy Two Belts, because I noticed he came to a party once wearing literally 2 full belts around his waist. I still don't know why, but he got that nickname, he's had it for years.
Yeah, you can't. I saw Greg Davis' comedy sketch once, and he said, one lad at his school was called Mumbo, and we were trying to work out what it was. I thought it was something to do Dumbo, big ears, and it was because his mum had BO. It was really smelly. So this poor lad
called Mumbo.
Mumbo for the rest. It wasn't even his fault. Which I was sick of it.
Nicknames are funny, to be fair.
I don't think I have a nickname at all.
There's a few nicknames in the squad, isn't there? Because you got Alioski, whose name's actually Ezjan, but he goes by Gianni. Luke Ayling gets Bill, doesn't he?
I don't know why.
Yeah, I've heard that. What's the Bill for?
Because when he was in Arsenal's academy, they all used to call each other Bill for a joke, but for some reason it only stuck with him. So everyone calls him Bill.
It's weird, isn't
There's
it?
worse names, isn't there?
Well, of course, Andy, you are a big Leeds United fan. And on the All Things Leeds podcast, when people are making a first appearance, we like to know how the journey started supporting Leeds United. So, where did it all begin for you?
With me, it were my dad went into football or out like that, which is the usual way. And he's actually sort of supports Huddersfield because he were born sort of that way, really, my dad. But I went to my first game, age 10, I think it was, and we got hammered. It was 1980. That's how old I am. We got hammered 4-1. And I was in the boys' pen, and it were 50p to get in.
Really?
Which were right next to Cop, between East End and Cop. There was a little bit, and it were horrible. And Peter Shilton got coins chucked at him throughout the entire game. He made about 27 quid by the time he got home. And there were a fight between Leeds fans in the boys' pen. I remember that, and it were pretty horrible atmosphere. And I think it put me off, to be honest. I'm only little. And then I started going in mid-80s with like 3 or 4 mates. And it was that cliched thing. You fall in love with it, don't you? The noise of it, the atmosphere of it.
That's how they get you.
It is. It sucks you in, and you wish, God, why did I bother? The lifetime of misery has come from this one game. Yeah. But I do remember that kind of thing of like live sport is an amazing thing, isn't it? It's like you're witnessing.
That's great.
You can't beat that, can you?
No.
It's not like watching it on the telly. You kind of.
It's like everyone goes on about that West Brom game last season, and it's much more special, I think, for people who were there, because me and you were there, and that was really, brilliant. Like, because we got beat off QPR at the weekend, 1-0, and that terrible, probably one of the worst games of the season, and then 3 days later, hammered West Brom, who were like promotion contenders 4-0.
16 seconds.
16-second goal.
Yeah. I mean, it's
the atmosphere was amazing that night.
Yeah, I mean that's what you go for, isn't it? The atmosphere. I mean, people who go to away games, they spend so much money on away games. Like people who go to every single Leeds United game, they probably don't want to spend that much money, but they go because they just love it.
You go in for atmosphere away. Yeah. You really are. It's like Elland Road used to be at home. I mean, the atmosphere is getting better now. I think definitely, it's definitely improved. But when I were on Cop in mid-80s and especially late 80s when we were good and Strachan came and we started going, it was an amazing atmosphere, and you were swaying everywhere. You'd go flying when you scored, but it was never dangerous. There was everyone would pick you up as soon as you fell over. You fell over occasionally, but no one got trampled, and it wasn't dangerous really. Yeah. And it was just quite intoxicating. Do you know what I mean? All that, especially when you're sort of teenager and that. And that hooks you in, and then you buggered out for life. Unfortunately,
sadly. It was your first game against you. Yeah.
That first one in 1980 was Forest, and then I think the one that really sucked me in when I were in my teens was, I think it was Plymouth. I've got a vague memory of it, a team in green. And Ian Baird, he was like my first, hero striker. And I remember, I'm sure he powered in one of his headers, like he did, and the place exploded, and that were it. Then I was sucked in, never to be released.
Can't believe 50p to get in as well. If only that was still it. It's like 40 quid now.
I know, my old man said he used to go out with a £5 and come home with change on a night out.
Mental.
Well, even when we got promoted in '89, I think it was 6 or 7 quid a game. I had a season ticket. My season ticket was 130, 140 quid for the season. And away games were easy. You didn't have to have all sorts of cards and membership things and all that. You just turn up and go in. So, but that really kind of got me hooked, really.
Yeah. Now you're paying 134 quid for a season ticket at Farsley Celtic.
Is that right?
Yeah, it is quite expensive. I think it's about £80 or something. But it's quite expensive.
You can just turn up on the day. I mean, you've done it regularly. It's it costs you like £5.
Well, I can go in for free because I do a lot of media work.
I think it's £3 for concessions, like students or old people. So it's like £3 to get in.
That's what it should be non-league for me. But
oh yeah, absolutely. The food in non-league is great as well. What would you say your biggest highlight or the biggest moment is supporting Leeds United?
I suppose it was when we won league in '92. Getting promoted was amazing. That was my first success of seeing Leeds being good and promotion. In '87 we missed out, and we got to FA Cup semi-final and lost, didn't we? And we lost the playoff final. I think that was the first ever playoff final. I'm not sure. So I was absolutely gutted. 87.
It's not the first one we lost anyway.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong there.
Not the only one we lost, I should say.
Chuffing hell. We never won one, have we?
No, never. No. Which is why we desperately need to come first and second this season.
But winning league in 92, I mean, it was mental that we went up. You know, we finished 4th in the first. Imagine a team going up to the Premier League now and finishing 4th in their first season.
That was back in the day where it were only top 3. You were in Champions League, though, wasn't it? You were in Europa if you were in 4th.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Because that's why we eventually lost all that money under Ridsdale, because we finished 4th that season. Whereas nowadays, we'd have qualified for Champions League, and it would have made no difference.
I know. It really cost us. But yeah, winning league in 92 was amazing, kind of surreal. You know, it was kind of, we had no right to win that league. It was, you know, a lot of players who'd been in the second division were still in the team.
Yeah, well, it was our second season back in the top flight, wasn't it?
Yeah, second season, finished 4th, and then we won it. So it's like Sheffield United finishing 4th this year, say, and then winning Premier League next year. I mean, it just won't happen.
It's unheard of.
It is.
Yeah,
the entire squad cost £6 million, I think. Something like that.
Yeah. Which is less than half what Helder Costa cost.
Yeah.
Would you say that 92 season's a better achievement than what Leicester City did?
Oh, good.
I'd probably say no, purely because there's a lot more money nowadays in the game.
Yeah, I think the level is... Yeah, you could compete more evenly, I think. Even though we'd only just gone up and we hadn't spent that much, there was still a little bit more of a level playing field, and now it's just way, way different, isn't it?
There's 3 teams that can win the league.
Yeah.
Realistically, only 2 of them. Yeah. And one of them has fallen out of the race. It's a 2-horse race where one of the horses has fallen over in Man City. So it's a 1-horse race.
Leicester kind of did a lead, but the rest of the teams now are so far ahead that I think it probably wasn't even a great achievement for them, to be honest.
And I guess as well, in that 91 season, we finished in the top 4. Leicester City, the season before they won the Premier League, had just survived. So
that's right, yeah.
The season after they won the league, though, they finished like 16th and 17th. They only just survived again.
We did the same. We had the worst ever sort of defence of a league title or something, didn't we? Didn't win a away game all season. We finished 17th, and then I think Howard went a couple of years later, didn't he? But
it's mental how that happens when you win the league and you just fall off.
It's classic Leeds, though, isn't it? Is it not?
Yeah, classic Leeds.
I fully expect us, if we get promoted, to either go down immediately the following season or just struggle really badly, because we just won't. It'll just be too hard to compete. I don't expect us to go up and do like a Wolves where they can just, you know, spend loads and loads of money on every single position, because we just won't have that. We'll be playing. We'll be playing Patrick Bamford up front. We'll have Gianni Alioski on the bench. We'll be playing our team as it is now, with maybe a couple of extra players.
They might raise the game. You don't look at Sheffield United at the moment. I mean, you know, League
that's
One
pretty
players.
much the same team. Yeah.
They are League One players. It would just got all the way up. Like Bournemouth players, they did the same.
Yeah. Well, the other night against Man United, I think 6 of their first team players for Sheffield United played in League 2. So, that's just, it's mental. It's mental. Well, Andy, of course, you're known for all your paintings across Leeds. Me and Charles, we love seeing them when we drive up here. I pick you up from Leeds train station, we go down Kirkstall Road, and we love seeing them all. I think a lot of other people, they love looking at them as well, you know, on the match day.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's to be redone, and unfortunately, I still haven't got around to repairing that one, but it will be.
I quite like the Gary Speed one. Have you redone that one?
Haven't done that one yet either. Weather.
Yeah.
Every time I get some time, it's like it is today. You know, I'm going sort of slowly through them when I can get dry, you know, spare time, if you like.
Yeah, so you did most of them in the summer, I'm guessing then.
Originally, and they were done in the summer holidays when I'm off school, and also in evenings and stuff, because it stays quite light, doesn't it, and dry. So I did loads and loads.
Yeah. How did it all start? What made you want to start painting all these boxes?
Well, where I live in Burley, there's a lot of graffiti around. There's a lot of this tagging stuff. I mean, it's all over the city now, isn't it? And it really started to ruin our area, and it still does. So me and my friends started painting over a lot of those boxes just with trees and stuff and all we could think of. And then when I walked down through Olbeck to game with my son over that little footbridge down by my Gary Speed, and I thought, wouldn't it be nice to do a few Leeds United ones, you know? I've always been obsessed with kits and designs and badges, and like I love the smiley and stuff. Yeah. And Leeds has got quite a lot of iconic design, I think. And even now, I'm far too old to buy football shirts, but I'm still like, what's the shirt going to look like, and what's the trim and all. So I think I've been in. Maybe I should have been a designer or something. I've probably been in the wrong job, to be honest. So I thought, I'll do one, and then I thought that looks quite cool, and then I did another one. And
what do you think of that third kit then? That light blue.
Just don't get me started. It's not Leeds United. It's not.
I don't know why we don't do a yellow kit. I don't know.
Apparently, it don't sell. Yellow doesn't sell.
The yellow Strongbow kit is one of my favourite ones we've ever done.
You can't. I'm a traditionalist and all that kind of stuff. But kits out for me. The kits are for kids, aren't they? And teenage lads and that pink and grey one. I mean, I thought it was horrendous, but it sold absolutely.
It's the best-selling away kit of all time, I think.
So Rads is just going to go. Well, there's no point doing a traditional yellow kit because they sell more. So you've got to take it on the chin. Unfortunately,
what do you think of the centenary shirt?
The one that no one could buy.
Yeah.
I mean,
with the gambling logo on it.
I mean,
sorry, I know we're derailing your podcast here, mate.
No, that kit's awful, though.
It would have been nice if everyone could have bought it. Do you know what I mean? And it didn't make sense to me that everyone couldn't, because even if you wanted to do a really expensive one made out of, I don't know, gold leaf cotton from the fields of, Brazil or something, you could have just done a normal one of that, couldn't you, in it for 50 quid, and I think people felt left out.
150 quid. I know you got the book as well. That's his book, but 150.
But they could have done 1,919 of them, and then just done the same shirt but out of normal stuff and without the book. And I think everyone felt, well, I'd like to buy a centenary shirt, but obviously, well, even if I can afford it, the chances of getting one are
slim.
So I was a bit mystified by that marketing decision, to be honest. But
I mean, the revenue of the club's gone massively up, so Rad's clearly knows what he's doing with regards to marketing.
Yeah. There must have been, reason behind it, and there's obviously, I think this pale blue one sold loads from what I've heard. So I don't know.
Yeah. What's your favourite ever Leeds United kit?
Oh dear.
You can have top three.
And is it home and away? I mean, I could talk about kits forever. The yellow away one, which is before my time, which is the smiley with just the blue and yellow stripe down there. It's just, it's just like kit porn, isn't it? It's just gorgeous. I think Alan Clark era wore that, didn't he? And then I love the peacock badge, the Admiral kit peacock badge with the little Admiral things down there. You can buy that in the retro kind of thing in the shop, can't you?
I like the diagonal LUFC letters.
Yeah, I mean, it's a classic. It's just plain white in it and all that. But I don't know why Admiral. I love that kind of thing down the sides. And I wish that when we got Admiral in '93, I was hoping they'd bring it back, but they didn't. But maybe one day. I don't know. It's going to be Adidas next, I think, isn't it? Apparently.
They make good kits, Adidas as well.
They do.
Yeah.
What's your favourite kit? The one that you're wearing?
I love the smiley badge, but as I've said previously, my favourite is that the yellow Strongbow kit from the Champions League game. I think it's the first Leeds shirt my dad ever bought me.
There's two little blue.
Yeah,
thing. I did that on a box. Yeah, on Curtis Road. I did a little version of that.
That's my favourite one.
I think my first kit was back in League One. We had it was a dark blue and light blue stripe kit, and that's my favourite because it was my first one, and I do still quite like it, to be fair.
Yeah.
Back to the paintings. How long does one of those take?
They would take sort of at least 2 evenings, I'd say. Sometimes 3 evenings really, because you've got to do it's not like decorating now, but you have to do like a base coat and let it dry, and then another coat, and then it would take 2 or 3 evenings really for each one. So, but I'd kind of have 2 on the go that were near each other. So while that would dry, and I could nip off and do something on that one, and then zoom back between the 2 kind of thing.
Yeah.
But far too long, really, for a normal person to spend painting boxes in the street. To be honest, my mates did say, "What are you doing again? Why are you doing this?"
Oh, I can't go out tonight and paint in the box on my street.
Well, yeah, I know. My mate said, "You need to get a bird, mate. You really do."
But unfortunately, someone or a group went round and destroyed them all with black paint.
Yeah, he did a couple first, painted them red down Elland Road towards Cottingley Cemetery, and sent this really weird email, and we didn't put that in the papers because it were quite sinister. Do you know what I mean? And I didn't want my mum and dad reading it, and they've been through loads of stuff lately, and I thought I know my mum, she'll start worrying about me get murdered and all this kind of stuff. So I didn't, and I said to Evening Post, "You're not putting that in," because they wanted to put it in because it was a great story and all this kind of stuff, And then when they did it again, and he did loads of them, I spoke to Phil A actually, and Phil said, "Look, I think you're going to have to publicise this now because the backlash will probably be quite big, and that's the only thing that's maybe going to put this person off from doing it again. So I think you're going to have to sort of publicise it." So I rang Evening Post up and said, "Right, we'll have to sort of put it in." So they did, and then it all went a bit crazy, didn't it? Really?
Must have been nice to feel the support from people around the city.
It was amazing. It sounds like cheesy, doesn't it? Sort of but it was. I didn't, I thought maybe a few Leeds fans would kick off, but it were like, I got hundreds, maybe even 1,000 messages on my phone, and people were writing into paper, weren't they? And
they had that GoFundMe going for you.
yeah, it was insane. They raised money for me to paint again. Some Facebook group set up a group against the Residents Against Graffiti, didn't they, and stuff.
It went mental. It
was bonkers. And even people were stopping me in the street and saying, look, I live in Holbeck and I don't even like football, but I loved your art. It brightened it up and it covered up the mess, and he's just made it worse now. So I didn't get a single person agreeing with him, not a single one, honestly, out of hundreds and hundreds.
Obviously, you got that. Did you agree with the BT and Virgin and the council that you were allowed to do the?
Well, I'd already got permission anyway, so all his very strange reasons about me being unauthorised vandal were completely untrue anyway. And he was actually he was the vandal because he didn't have permission to do it. So none of it really made any sense. So it was very, very strange, and he sent emails to my band as well, like personal ones, which got a little bit kind of, it isn't funny anymore now kind of thing. He called me a middle-class prat, which I thought, well, I'm going up in world. I live in a back-to-back house, I mean, got a knackered 15-year-old van, and I'm suddenly Boris Johnson or something. I don't understand how. And then he started going on about it might be a race issue, Holbeck is multicultural, so you shouldn't too many white people go to football. And it just seemed to change and go off on those different tangents on why.
You just seemed like a disturbed person.
Yeah. Was it just one guy then, or was it actually a group?
I don't think we'll ever know. I don't think it was a gang of them. Can you imagine 4 of them being asked? Can you imagine you saying to your mate, you 3, will you come spend 2 evenings with me? Just tell you to get lost, wouldn't they?
Sort yourself out, man.
Yeah, it was just some weirdo, wasn't it?
I think he's just, I don't know. Very eloquent though. The emails were beautifully.
It'll have been some Antiques Roadshow watching. He'll have been probably middle class. He'll have been walking around the area and thinking, I just want everything to be blanket, dull colours, and the fact that somebody's going out of their way to do something. Either that, or they'll have been a fan of an opposition club, possibly.
I don't think it was. I think there might. Maybe I'm naive. I think it's some kind of unwritten rule. If I'd have done it in Manchester, then they'd have had every right to destroy him. Yeah. But I think even the most ardent Man United fan would go, well, he's done that in Leeds. It's his city. Do you know what I mean? I've got a few mates of Man U, and they were like, they look great. I
bumped into a Blackburn fan on the train a couple of weeks ago. We beat Blackburn at Elland Road, and he was just like, he was moaning and moaning. It's like, if you don't like it, go home. It's like, you're not moaning about a city. If you don't like it in the city, leave.
Yeah,
well, exactly. This guy also said, can we have more of Andy's non-Leeds United ones in Holbeck and Beeston? And I said, well, A, if you'd have asked me, I'd have done it. Yeah, maybe, and B, why don't you go do something then? If you're that, bothered, you get off your backside and go do something.
It's not. They're not offensive pieces of artwork either. They're not like Leeds stuff with like any kind of offensive language or offensive imaging. It's all just kind of celebrating the kind of history and the legends of the club and the symbols of the club. And it's not harming anybody. That is
aggressive.
Not even. It's not even slightly.
Marching on together is aggressive because it's marching like an army. I haven't even done one that says marching on together actually. So I've put MOT on stuff. But everyone knows it's just the song. It's not an aggressive marching, is it? It's just.
And the together part doesn't really imply division, does it?
Yeah.
No. So anyway, but so I think hopefully that's stopped, and like I said, I'm slowly ploughing through, sort of redoing them all, and I've done about 2/3 of them now.
Yeah, that's really good. And the support was amazing. The club, of course, noticed. They invited you to a game as well.
Yeah, we had a lovely VIP day, me and Danny. I've never done out like that before, kind of, posh food and posh seats and.
Chat with Angus Kinnear.
yeah. And James has been really nice, James Mooney, and he gives me and Danny free tickets now, which is great. I can't afford to go all games, for me and Dan, it's 50-odd quid probably.
So just give you free tickets?
Well, James said, look, there's spare seats, so if you want to come, just let me know, kind of thing.
Can I help out with these pens?
It's honestly, I nearly kissed him when he said that, because it's just brilliant, not having to worry about. I'm not some big sob story, but some weekends, Dan, can we go to a game? I can't afford it this weekend, and then all his mates go, and you feel like a right, terrible father and all that. So to be able to just go, can we come? And James goes, yeah, sure. It's
amazing.
Great gesture from the club.
Yeah, it's been really nice, and they're meant to be giving me some money to commission it and stuff. I think that's coming through soon. And therefore, when it's apparently legally, when artwork is commissioned, then it's officially illegal to destroy it then. And he'd said in his emails, I will not commit crime, I will not damage commissioned artwork, and all this kind of stuff. So that should hopefully sort that out. Really.
That is awesome. I love how the club have done that for you. That's amazing. Have you got any more paintings lined up?
Yeah, I mean, I want to redo the ones that were ruined, but I've got a book full of ideas. Yeah.
Any requests?
People ask me to do them all. Can you come and do one in Morley? Can you come and do one in Rothwell and all this kind of stuff? I've got there's some plain boxes on Beeston Hill. You know, where everyone walks down Beeston Hill to the ground. I used to walk down there years ago. That was my route. And I've started one at bottom of Beeston Hill, which I want to do. I want to do Champions '92. Really, I've got to do that. Really, I think. Yeah. And if we go up this year, I've got to do one for that. But I've got loads of ideas. Yeah. But I don't want to tell you because
surprise.
Yeah. But the paintings are awesome, so keep on doing. As I say, me and Charles love spotting
thanks,
them.
Man. I mean, they're easy. It's not. I'm not. Yeah. I've never done any art before in my life. Never had any art training. I just nicked some stencils and my sister's little girl essentially, and
just cracked on.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
We love it because when we're driving to and from podcast, we see him on our route down, and we walk into the ground, we see him down, and we walk from because we go for a drink before the game up at the Dragon,
right,
and then we walk down, we see some on the way down, and obviously me and my dad when we go to games walk down Beeston Hill, so we see some up kind of that area as well.
Well, people said, which were really lovely, you know, it's part of our going to match experience now, isn't it? And walking to game with my son is one of my favourite bits at game. I don't know why it is. You just walk and you chat about what's going to happen today, and I don't know. So if I could add a little bit to that, and I just sort of painted them and didn't think about it really, but then people said, no, we love it, and the kids say, you know, who's Gary Speed, Dad? And they can tell them, and what's the smiley badge? Because some people are too young to know what that is, and to know that like kids are doing that is kind of really nice, you know.
Yeah, and it's great for memories, just pointing out to people. Yeah, I remember that. That, you know, the reason that's
great way
important.
of kind of showing the legacy of the club.
It's awesome, awesome work. So keep it
cheers,
on.
Man.
Well, let's look back at Leeds United's last couple of games then. Let's start with the game from last Saturday, 2-1 win over Luton Town away at Kenilworth Road. Charles, I mean, this was quite a good performance from Leeds United, wasn't it?
First half especially, I thought we were excellent in the first half. It's one of them kind of classic Leeds things this season where we've been like really good in the first half, scored no goals, and then being a bit dodgy in the second half but scored.
Yeah,
it's very strange.
Yeah, I mean, we were brilliant in the first half. We did everything but score. We did everything but score. I mean, I think Bamford, he hit the woodwork. Tyler Roberts, he forced a good save from goalkeeper James Shea, who had a really good game for Luton Town, did their goalkeeper.
He made the EFL Team of the Week, and I saw someone arguing that David Raya should have made it, and I was just like, well, we had 12 shots on target. The man turned into like prime Buffon.
Also,
for some of them saves.
Everyone does fill the team, don't they?
Kane Westwood's a prime example.
Yeah,
People get themselves so worked up over the EFL Team of the Week. It's like, who cares?
I don't even know.
Who cares?
To be honest,
I only have a look when we've got a player in it.
Yeah.
So Ben White's in it most weeks this season,
should be as well.
and rightly so.
Yeah. Of course, two changes to the starting lineup. Bavadi, he came in for Liam Cooper. He was on the bench was Cooper, and Pablo Hernandez, he came in for Helder Costa, which I was quite surprised about because Helder Costa I felt played well against Blackburn Rovers, but Pablo Hernandez had a good game. And as we say, we were brilliant through the entire first half. Did everything but score. It was 0-0 at half time, but we did go 1-0 up shortly into the second half on 51 minutes. Phillips winning possession off Izzy Brown. Ben White then sprinted forward with the ball, played it to Bamford, who finished brilliantly. It was a fantastic finish, Andy.
Well, the pass from Ben White. At first, I thought it must have been click or something because this kind of outside of the right foot, kind of Messi-esque pass.
This is after he's run like 60 yards.
Yeah,
I know.
And it was only when I looked at the replay, God, it was Ben White. You know, I know he can do amazing stuff, but I don't think he's ever laid a pass on like that for a goal before. And then Bamford at the moment, you just worry for him, don't you? Is he going to finish? And that's like, brilliant. Why can't he do that every time? But it's fun, and I think he gave the keeper the eyes for the far corner because you're always meant to shoot across the keeper, aren't you?
Yeah.
And I think that was really clever.
Yeah, it was a fantastic finish. Keeper should have done better at his near post, probably, but it was a fantastic finish from Bamford. Great shithousery in the celebration as well. He was going to go He was going to go celebrate with the
those kids in the front row that were just swearing at him was hilarious.
A lot of 10-years giving major fingers there.
I mean, Bamford were going to go celebrate with the subs warming up, but instead he turned around and was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to do the year to the."
He's getting a bit of a kind of shithouse streak in him, isn't it? The kind of robbing that him and Clicker, like becoming the worst.
Yeah,
well, he's becoming a fan's favourite, not for being a good player and being a good striker, but for shithouse.
He's gone from like posh boy to a bit of an hard nut, really, hasn't he? Well, a very posh hard nut, violin playing, you know.
The kind of guy that would square up to you in Waitrose.
I like that, yeah. Over an avocado or something.
That was, of course...
Get the last chicken salad off you.
That was, of course, his second goal in 2 games. His first goal in open play for 13 games, of course, since that 3-0 win away at Stoke in August. So really, really pleased for Bamford. Hopefully he kicks on from that. The Luton Town commentators, though, for this goal.
They were horrendous the whole game, mate. Not just for the goal. They were really... And from first time I saw it, the incident where the ball comes into Izzy Brown and Calvin kind of gets right side of him, and it's a bit of a... It's kind of contact, but it's a bit of 50-50. It's kind of like it's strength. You would never think if you saw that given for a free kick, you'd think that's really soft. There was a couple of free kicks last night I thought was soft, but we'll get on to that. They just kind of tussle for the ball, and I think Brown saw that he wasn't going to get the ball. So I think he thought, right, I'll just hit the deck and maybe.
Well, he did an actual sort of leap, didn't he?
He made out that he had his foot dragged, but there was no contact on his feet. Really.
Well, it wasn't a foul. But the Luton commentators were like, "Oh, come on, ref! This is a foul."
Did you hear what they were saying for the when? I think because they couldn't find the ball for a while, then Kiko found it on the pitch, but they'd already thrown a new ball on, so Kiko booted it over the stands. Because Kenilworth Road is like it's just tiny ground. He booted it into someone's like back garden, and they wanted him getting booked for ungentlemanly conduct.
So literally 2 balls on the pitch. He goes to kick one away so they can carry on with the game. Because Luton Town's ground is a shithole, like it's tiny. The ball goes over the stand and like, ungentlemanly conduct. He'll smash a green ass or something.
Ungentlemanly conduct.
He'll smash a green ass or something. Give him a yellow, ref. It was literally that. And then,
they were insufferable the whole game.
I mean, they started well. I was like, these are decent commentators. But then when Bamford scored that goal, they were like, come on, ref, that's a foul on Brown. And then Bamford scored, and it was like, Bamford scored.
But that is a foul on Izzy Brown.
Yeah, but that is a foul on Izzy Brown. Kiko say should be.
Saw him do that little leap. Thought, he's made a meal of it.
No, you like to see that with referees. You like to see them, calling out people's antics, thinking, just looking, you think, sort yourself out. You're a professional footballer.
My mate's a referee, and he books them for diving all the time.
Yeah,
that's one thing I like.
I mean, if you want to know who the Luton Town commentator was, he was called Simon Pitts. On Twitter, it is at SimonStatoP. His account is still on private.
Yeah, it got made private because all Leeds fans went onto his page after the game and had a go at him.
And it's still private, still.
Yeah, I don't blame him, to be honest.
Yeah, brilliant. But for the next 5-10 minutes after we went 1-0 up, we were quite woeful, to be fair. Luton came at us a lot more.
It was like we forgot how to play football for 10 minutes. Yeah. It was really weird. It was like watching a Sunday League team play an average championship side, which is what Luton are. And we stopped closing down. We kind of thought, right, well, that's 1-0. We've won this.
Yeah, it was a bit like that 10-man Wigan game where a little bit of complacency maybe. And, that cross for the goal it went past Brady like it wasn't there, didn't he, really?
Yeah, Brady didn't close him down enough. No. And I think there was a bit of confusion between Brady and Phillips over who was going to close him down.
Yes,
and then Elland should... it was also... I don't like to call out Luke Elland too much because I like him as a player, but he was guilty for bad marking on the corner for the goal that... I think it was the one that QPR scored.
It was.
And this was another one where he was 3 or 4 yards away from his man at the back post. You've got to be tighter to him, make it at least a difficult chance. And it was just it was a free header.
Yeah, a free header from James Collins to equalise it.
I'm not even sure their second one was offside,
No,
it wasn't.
We got away with one there. Yeah, we'll get onto that in a second.
The thing is, there's all sorts on Twitter wanting about angles and stuff. And
it didn't look offside to me.
No, we'll get onto that in a second. But the equaliser came on 54 minutes. James Collins free header. Izzy Brown, we're getting his 6th assist of the season.
And he marked it by running over to Leeds fans and having a go, which that went down well.
No, I don't know why would do that. I mean, nobody was against Izzy Brown when he was at Leeds.
People were chanting, "You're too shit to play for Leeds."
I didn't hear that on the telly. Yeah. Right, okay, fair enough.
But it was a poor goal to concede, though. And then, as you said, shortly after, Luton, they thought they had gone ahead. They got the ball in the back of the net from a corner, but it was ruled offside. Controversial, because it wasn't offside. I looked at an angle and... Our fullback's playing him on. It's not offside.
The lino took a long time to chuck his flag up as well.
Did.
Yeah.
It was a good minute.
Phil A said that, and he said that just put doubt on it for him, kind of thing, that it'd taken so long to make the decision.
I'd have been annoyed if that had been chopped off for us.
I don't care. We need every bit of luck we can get. If we're going to get promoted, I'll take them out every day.
Yeah, it's nice to have a bit of luck as well for once. Really nice to have a bit of luck for
Yes, I
once.
think it is.
We've got Keith Stroud refereeing at the weekend, so you can kiss that goodbye. With no luck at the weekend.
Yeah. Of course, Liam Cooper held Acosta, Jack Clark. They came on. Good to see Jack Clark back in the first team. And then we took control of the game again and left it late, but we did find a winner in added time. A nice build-up, the ball into the game near right-hand post, and Bamford and Luton defender Matty Pearson slid to try win the ball, and ball ended up going in the back of the net. Bamford thought he had scored a second, but it has now gone down as an own goal for Matty Pearson.
It was a really good bit of movement because he went as if he was going to go to the far post, and then he darted near post, so he got round the defender around the right side of him, and he obviously defender's going to dive in. I don't think from any camera angle it's really difficult to see who gets the final touch.
Did Bamford get anything? I think he got something on it, and then it hit the defender and then went in.
Yeah.
So is that if Bamford's touch was still on target, it's classed as his goal?
That's
Or
his goal.
Maybe it wasn't.
He says he got studs to it, but I don't really care. We've scored a lot of own goals this season. Like we got one against Derby, one against West Brom, one against Luton.
And a last-minute winner, which is always nice. And 2-1 win away at Luton then. That made it 3 wins in a row, unbeaten in 6, 4 wins and 2 draws. And that puts us into second place in the Championship table. We were still 2 points behind league leaders West Brom, though. But that win did put us in good stead heading into Tuesday night's game against Reading and their 13th man, which is their fans. I don't know if you see their team sheet every week. Number 13 is the fans.
Is that what it says?
Yeah, I mean, I always thought the fans. I always thought the fans were the 12th man, but no, the 13th man.
That's not ironic with Reading's woeful support.
Bloody 15,000 attendance and empty seats all over the place.
Don't they have a singing section or something as well?
Yeah, they've got kind of their own like 1871 Ultras section they've got going. Do you remember that We Are the Royals music video they made as well?
No, that sounds dreadful.
Look at that on YouTube and try to finish the full video. I guarantee you'll cringe your way off it halfway through.
Just search the Reading song and
just put Reading We Are the Royal. Listen to it.
It is awful. It is awful. The game against Reading away at the Majeski Stadium. Charles, this was not a good game at all, really. Quite boring.
Before we get onto that, does anyone know why it's called the Majeski Stadium?
It's the bloke's name, isn't it? Isn't it? The guy who bought the club, isn't that his second name? I can't remember.
Yeah, he's now the co-owner. Of course, the other co-owner is the head coach, Mark Bowen.
Oh, no, I know. He was a sporting director, sacked the manager, and then employed himself as the manager.
Is that right?
Which would be a bit like, it'd be a bit like if you were the president of a company. And
it's like what Cellino would do.
You had a vice president, and then you fired the vice president, took his salary, and just did his job as well.
Yeah. It's like what Cellino would probably do.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. That's a Cellino move, that, yeah. But this was an awful game, and I say that for both sides. Reading did the kind of thing that Gary Monk does whenever he plays us, where he does this kind of deep, kind of narrow block in the kind of their third, whether you just keep one or two in Reading's case. Big shithouse strikers up front, so just lump balls through and win corners. Yeah, and that's all they did for about 60 minutes, and it was hard watching. And we made it even harder by the fact that we were sloppy on the ball. We looked shit. I remember saying to my brother in the pub, it's like we're playing in an FA Cup final, not Reading away. It was for how sloppy and nervous we looked all the time.
Yeah.
We were giving the ball away. Like Pablo and Click in particular were giving the ball away a lot, and we just couldn't really get going. And obviously they had a chance early on where they kind of they got it on one of their counter attacks. They whipped it through, and if it was a better pass across into the box, could have been probably a goal.
Yeah, it could have been.
If it wasn't for Kiko's positioning for their header on target, he really good positioning, so he kept that out.
Yeah,
they weren't. People saying that they were the better side. They weren't the better side because they didn't have any of the ball. They didn't get through us at any point. They didn't pass through us.
No, we were the better side.
Yeah, because we were constantly pushing. We just couldn't really get there because such a deep block. I was just saying, it's like playing a Gary Monk team. They just make the game horrible and unwatchable and boring.
Because they packed out the midfield, so there wasn't much movement for us to to create stuff. Phil Hay, he tweeted a picture of a free kick in the second half that Reading were defending, and they had all 11 players in their box defending. We had about 5 players.
Everyone was raving about John Swift before the game, how good a kind of creative midfielder he was. It was pretty much non-existent for me watching the game, apart from a couple of free kicks. Ajari was a bit kind of creative and a bit tricky, and he kind of got the better of Calvin Phillips on a couple of occasions in both halves. And I thought Phillips had a fairly poor game as well. But let's get all the negatives out of the way first. Moving on to the positives, I thought Dallas had a really good game. He pushed on constantly. He was one of our best efforts of the game was him just getting fed up of us trying to work it in and hitting one off the bar, which was a really good effort.
I wish we'd do that more often.
Yeah, Ben White had a really good game. He marshalled their strikers pretty well, because Mate, their guy, and he's a big guy.
Yeah, well, Ben White got man of the match.
Yeah,
he had another fantastic game.
He had a good game, but I do disagree with that for reasons I'll go into in a sec. Kiko had a great game. Kept his 9th clean sheet of the season.
Yeah.
Really good effort from him. He dealt with anything. He wasn't flapping at crosses. He only had to make one punch, and he punched it about half a mile, which is what you want from your keeper.
Yeah.
I thought Elland was all right. I thought he dealt with most everything. Obviously, Tyler Roberts, I thought was he couldn't really do much on the ball, and when he did have the ball, he got crowded out a bit. He obviously went off injured in the first half eventually. I'm rambling a bit here, lads, so I'll leave it.
Tweaked his hamstring, I think, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's got a hamstring issue. But I thought the subs saved the game for us, personally.
Yeah, they did.
Are we going to talk about the second half?
Yeah, we will. Of course, one change to the starting 11 though. Cooper, he came back in for Gaetano Bavardis. Shackleton returned to the bench after recovering from injury. But yeah, as we say, it was a really, really dull game. As you say, the substitutes changed the game really. Of course, the first substitute came on 34 minutes. Tyler Roberts, he went off, as we said, with a hamstring injury. He didn't want to come off. I think it was a precaution, so that kind of tells you that it's not too serious.
That's what they were saying
so he could be back for Saturday, or if not, and then next week away at Huddersfield. But Helder Costa, he came on, injected us with a load of pace
and some width, which we didn't have in the first half.
Yeah, and Alioski, he came on for Click midway through the second half. Click had a really poor game, I felt.
Giving the ball away a lot.
Yeah, and Alioski, another winger coming on.
Yeah, we figured out we had about 5 wingers on the pitch, because if you class Dallas as a winger, which he kind of is, as well as a fullback, we had him, Alioski, Pablo Hernandez, Jack Harrison. These are all wingers.
That's mental.
Yeah, I mean, no one knows what formation Bielsa uses half the time. I mean, Sky Sports were confused. I mean, Sky Sports showing the starting 11 before the game. Bamford was going off the TV screen.
it was comedic, because they have no idea how Bielsa's going to set up, and because it's not rigid and Bielsa's formations are very fluid, they have no idea how to do like a flat formation.
And the first question in Bielsa's interview before the game was like, "Oh, so are you going with your 3 at the back formation?" And it's like, "Yeah, I'm going 3 at the back and stuff." But no one had a clue what formation.
Well, it foxed him in the end, and it worked.
Yeah,
so
Alioski was added that bit of unpredictability that really helped us out. He was getting on the ball a lot, and he wasn't giving it away. He was actually sorting things out, and he put in a couple of good crosses. He put one over the top, which Dallas hit against the side netting. Was really unfortunate to finish that.
I think he should have scored that, yeah.
Or at least he should have tapped it in for Bamford, because Bamford was there next to him. Yeah. But yeah, we looked a lot better when he was on the pitch.
Yeah, and of course Alioski involved in our winning goal 3 minutes from time. Free kick from Reading was saved by Kiko Hussein, and 13 seconds later, really, really quick on the counter-attack. At the other end, Alioski plays it to Costa on the right, and excellent cross. Finds Jack Harrison. Fantastic run from Jack Harrison.
Bit of a lucky deflection though, mate. The deflection off the defender, of the initial defender that's going to closing Costa down, takes it over the centre back in the box.
Just
perfectly, and lands pretty much bang on the middle of Jack Harrison's face.
And
he couldn't miss.
And Jack Harrison, fantastic run, full length of the pitch.
Yeah, he ran, because he started the move from left back position and runs to the 6 yard.
This is the fitness of Bielsa, isn't it? This relentless, pushing on the fitness from and the diet and everything. We are definitely the fittest team in the league.
Absolutely. I mean, this is the 87th minute.
Yeah.
And Jack Harrison has gone from left back, started the move, and sprinted forward and finished the move.
Yeah, and he's not a sub as well. He's been on the entire game.
Yeah.
It's paying off, isn't it, this relentlessness? There was Forshaw on the EFL show on Saturday night as a pundit. Yeah. And he was saying, it is hard work. Colin Murray's asking him all about it, but he says, we're absolutely knackered during the week, but then when it comes to the game, we're flying. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, Calvin Phillips got interviewed by the EFL as well, and he was basically saying, because of this murder ball session they do on Wednesdays, where it's constant football and the ball is never not in play. There's no kind of stoppages. That when they're playing games, when things go out for corners, when you get free kicks, when other teams are stood there kind of panting, we're thinking, right, well, we're still fit for this. On Wednesday, a ball had been launched straight back on. They've been straight playing again.
Yeah.
So.
And that's for players who call it murder ball. Calvin Phillips said that Bielsa just calls it football. Yeah, because it's basically an 11-a-side game. It's a full football match, but any time the ball goes out, there's a coach there on the touchline who just passes the ball back in. Straight back in.
Apparently they fly into tackles, and there's no hanging back or anything.
Oh yeah.
That's what I heard. So it's pretty intense, but it's paying off.
It is.
I mean, the amount of late goals we've scored in this season.
Two late goals.
Yeah.
90th
minute goal at the weekend, 87th minute goal. On Tuesday night, I should say. Not last night, because when we release it.
Yeah, it's going up Thursday.
I'll avoid that. But yeah, the late goals, and these are really valuable goals. These are winning goals that picked us up. 2 late goals that picked us up 4 points in the last few days, if you think about it, which has put us 5 points currently as things stand right now. I don't think they'll stay that way over the course of this evening. 5 points clear of third as things stand right now.
It's just them. We're getting these little bits of luck that you just dare to dream a little bit that maybe this is the season, because to dig that win out last night when you're not playing well and it gets that tiny deflection that made all the difference, and you just think,
well, it's what good teams, they find a way to win, and we found a way to win on Tuesday night. Jack Harrison, his 4th goal of the season. That's now 4 goals, 4 assists for him this season, which is fantastic. First time we've ever won back-to-back games away at Reading, which is
we hammered him last year, didn't we?
Yeah, so the first time ever we won back-to-back games away at Reading, which is absolutely phenomenal. That's a phenomenal statistic. But as I said, good teams always find a way to win, and we found a way to win. A great win, 3 points. That made us 1 point clear at the top of the table for now. Of course, West Brom, they do play Bristol City at home tonight. They always seem to be playing at home to West Brom. Every time I check up, who West Brom playing? It's at home.
I don't think they kind of have more home games than anyone else, but it does seem
it feels like they're constantly at home.
They were at home last week, weren't they?
I think it's just because whenever we need a result, we're looking at what game they've got, and we're always thinking, and it always happens to be a home game, which is a bit annoying. But they're not invincible. They've only lost 1 game this season. Who've they lost to? Us.
Yeah. When people say West Brom's form,
they did do his second half.
Yeah,
but
it was sort of hanging on stuff, wasn't it? It would torture us watching it.
That 3 points there is invaluable if they're going to be in the race for top 2.
And it's great as well that's the only loss of the season, because any time someone puts West Brom's form in the WDL, everyone just goes VLs for Leeds.
I saw one guy post on Facebook who was like, "Oh yeah, we've only lost 1 game this season," and he says, "How are you doing, Leeds?" I was like, "Who did you lose that game to, mate?" It's like, you lost it to us.
Exactly. But yeah, as it stands right now, at the time that we're recording, 1 point clear at the top of the championship table.
They have to win tonight as well. They
have to win. If it's a draw, and we stay top of the league. So a draw will do for West Brom tonight. But even if results don't go our way, if West Brom do beat Bristol City at home and Preston beat Hull City away, we will remain in the top 2 and be at least 3 points clear in second. So we're in a good position.
That's worst case scenario as well. 3 points clear.
I'm happy being in second. I don't like being,
the most important thing is that gap between second and third. As we found out last season, that is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Whether or not you win the league, you want to win the league, obviously, but no one's we went up from League 1 in second.
I don't care. I couldn't care less about winning the championship, honestly.
Yeah, because
it would be nice to have a trophy, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because last season,
even a crap one.
But last season, of course, Championship banter page on Facebook, you got all the other Championship fans in there. But last season when Norwich were top, but last season when Norwich were top and we were second, they were like, "Oh yeah, we're going to win the league. We're first, you're second." It's like, I don't care, as long as we get automatic promotion, I'm happy.
I think it's better to be, I don't know, if you're in first place all the time, I think there's a little bit more pressure.
Yeah,
I think they do say that second is the most boring way to go up though from the Championship, because first you get the trophy and playoff winners get the most amount of money going up. And
they go to Wembley and lift the trophy as well.
They get to Wembley. But obviously, you've got to put yourself through 90 minutes of torture where you may or may not win.
Yeah.
Leeds won't. It's the playoff final, so it's...
Yeah, automatic promotion is automatic promotion, and we're on the top 2 right now. If at worst, we'll be 3 points clear in the top 2 come the end of tonight, Wednesday night. So we're in a good position, and a gap is opening up as well. Could you see Leeds and West Brom pulling away now, Charles?
I don't want to say that now because we're not even in December yet, and Fulham appear to be dragging some form together because they dragged themselves up to third, and they've got the quality in their team. They've got Cavallero and Mitrovic and Tom Kearney, by far the most dangerous. On talent alone, they have the best squad in this league by far, by a country mile.
Absolutely.
Just they've got an absolute charlatan of a manager in Scott Parker, who's just no clue what he's doing because his players are so good. He's winning games accidentally.
It's Guardiola effect, maybe.
Yeah. Well, no, it's kind of the exact opposite of what's going on with Leeds, because Bielsa took a squad of players that finished 13th the season before he took over and dragged them 10 places up to third.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous what he did last
So
season.
we're getting the benefits of a really good manager, and they've got the benefits of a really good squad and a really poor manager.
Yeah.
I always think the manager's influence does tell eventually.
Well, it's telling him.
Good players can't drag you through forever.
Yeah. Well, it's telling here right now, isn't it? So, Andy, I'll put the question to you.
Go on.
Are Leeds going up? Is this the season?
Oh,
don't ask him that question. Don't put a jinx on this
It's
podcast, mate.
torturous. You don't know. It's Leeds United. Anything could happen. We could be 28 points clear with 3 games to go, and the stadium will spontaneously combust. Or
EFL hand us a minus 29 point.
Yeah, I don't
reduction.
know. Bielsa was playing solitaire, wasn't he, this week? Did you see that? So
Solitaire, yeah.
Gambling.
So they'll say, right, minus 30 points for your manager playing solitaire. I don't know. All the players will break their legs with a game to go and will be disqualified. I don't know. I can't ever say it. I daren't, because I was last season. I never thought we'd go up last season, to be honest. I just thought this is Leeds.
I thought we'd go up right up until the point that we failed to beat 10-man Wigan. And then I thought there's no chance.
10-man Wigan. 10-man Wigan. Those 3 words.
That's going to be on my gravestone.
10-man Wigan. I hate those 3 words.
10-man Wigan changed this man.
Yeah, it's like. You could go for counselling just with that phrase alone.
That's why I'll forever hate Reece James, despite how good a player he is, because without him, that Wigan side were awful. Yeah. And he just dragged them through, and if he'd have just... those 3 points meant nothing to Wigan. If they could have just rolled over, we could have been the Premier League now.
They didn't have to do that, did they? That goal just for half-time.
No, because they were like 18th or something, so they weren't going down. It was like 2 games to go, or whatever. They weren't going down, and they weren't getting mid-table. I think the 3 points only took them up 1 place. It's like, couldn't you just rolled over? Yeah. Just do us a favour.
It makes me go cold even thinking about it. Kind of thing.
It took a lot of effort to watch the last 2 episodes of the documentary.
It did.
Like, it was a really emotional experience.
It was, yeah. It was. God, I've been there so much. I was in Liverpool when that game was going. I was doing a gig in Liverpool, and we were in a Pizza Express. And we were 1-0 up.
And missed the penalty.
And and then my mate goes, they've gone 2-1 up. And I remember my head just fell into my margarita kind of thing. Just splattered my lasagna and everything. I just thought, of course, because this is Leeds United. This is what we do.
Yeah. Well, speaking of 10-man Wigan, let's move on to the Leeds United under-23s. They won their game this week to make it back-to-back wins in the Professional Development League. They beat 10-man Wigan Athletic, the under-23s, 2-0 away at the DW Stadium.
Shiver.
Every time we play Wigan, no matter what team it is, they seem to get a man sent off, which is just bizarre.
Was it this season when we beat them at their place? They got a man sent off as well.
Yeah.
So no matter how we play Wigan, what game it's in.
That was really funny because they put the Wigan Twitter page announced, so we've had a player sent off, and all the comments just Leeds fans saying, "Take him back, put him back on right now."
But yeah, a good win for Leeds United under-23s here. It was 0-0 at half-time, but we went 1-0 up on 58 minutes through Ryan Edmondson and his goal. A good finish after Leeds capitalised on a mistake. Good to see Ryan Edmondson back scoring. Yeah,
it was a good interception by McAlmont, his first assist of the game, and he just sent Edmondson through. And
great ball.
That was the second goal.
Yeah,
was that the second goal?
Yeah, the first goal was kind of he intercepted the ball and just let it through, and Edmondson just slots it past the keeper, easy as you like, and it was 1-0 up. And then the second goal was obviously that kind of Iniesta through ball.
It was fantastic.
McAlmont.
What a ball for McAlmont. Perfectly weighted, perfectly executed ball, and John Stevens running onto it from the right, and a good finish as well to make it 2-0.
The best part of it is he stood there on the ball and waited for the run, and then just sent it through, and there was nothing the defender could do about it.
Yeah.
And then it was 2-0 up, and then it's 10-9, you won the game then, haven't you?
Yeah, it was a fantastic goal. And a 2-0 win, 2 wins in a row, as I say. Great experience as well for players playing at the DW Stadium. It's a really nice stadium.
Yeah, it's a bit of a soulless ball, to be honest, mate. But it is.
I've been many times. Yeah,
but it is a championship stadium, and it's good experience for the lads because they if we don't get out of this dreadful league, then they're going to have to go there at some point when they get promoted up into the senior squad.
Yeah. No, it's very soulless, and they have a drum, and any ground that has a drummer.
Reading had a drum last night. It was.
I'm a drummer, and I hate drummers in stadiums. You know what I mean? It's I just think
if those 1871 Ultras were any good, they wouldn't need that drum giving everyone a migraine.
I was in the away end at Hillsborough the other week, and they had a drummer like 3 rows behind me, and it was just. I think it's the same guys who go with England.
Preston have a drum as well every time we go down.
Yeah,
Leeds
really
United,
annoying.
we don't need a drum.
Yeah,
No, we
with
don't.
Leeds United, we do not need a drum at all. But yeah, really good win for Leeds U23s there. 2-0 win away at Wigan. In other news then, Eddie Nketiah, he will begin training this Thursday. Bielsa said in his press conference on Monday, and they will take it from there. Hopefully Eddie Nketiah is back soon, of course. Though Bamford, he's picked up a lot of form recently, started scoring goals. So Eddie Nketiah will probably find it hard to start still.
Yeah, I don't think he will. I think he'll stick with Bamford. He was already very loyal to him, wasn't he, anyway? And he was going to start him that game where he...
QPR game, yeah.
Yeah, and then he had this sort of mysterious abdominal injury. But I think he will stick with Bamford now, and I think Eddie will struggle to get back in.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure Eddie will hang around, really, personally.
Yeah, I mean, of course, there is a lot of talk of Arsenal recalling him in January. Can you see that happening, Charles?
I think if we don't started him, then Arsenal will... I mean, you can't even blame Arsenal for taking him back. They haven't sent him to the Championship to be on the bench. He's already on the bench for Arsenal.
Yeah.
They've sent him to the Championship to start games, play games, and get better.
Yeah, but there's the talk about how many games he's playing. You've got to take into consideration that he has been out for quite a number of weeks with an injury.
But before he was out, mate, he was on the bench for a long time, fully fit.
But he was going to start that game, though, wasn't he? He was going to start.
I mean, prime Leeds United that our main striker wasn't scored in like 8 or 9 games. We had probably one of the best youth prospects in England, sitting on the bench ready to start, and he injured himself 24 hours before his
Abdominal as well. I heard it was
lower
a twisted
abdominal.
bollock.
Yeah, I heard it was twisted bollock as well.
And I think he just said, you better tell him it's my stomach, because I'm too embarrassed to say it's my nudges.
Bamford's just 2-footed him in the bollocks in training.
Probably, yeah. I think so, yeah.
Oh, brilliant. But yeah, hopefully Nketiah does stay, obviously. But Bielsa in his press conference did say that on Monday that if they need solutions, and Victor Orta and everyone else will deliver the solutions if they do find it. So basically, if Eddie Nketiah leaves, we're going to sign Dwight Gale.
Victor Orta. I know a guy Orta.
It would have to be somebody, wouldn't it? Because if Bamford gets injured, then we're completely up the creek, aren't we?
We've got Tyler Roberts and...
We need
Tyler
a
Roberts
proper
is
number
injury prone
9
as well.
Edmondson's, and I'd like to just see him.
Yeah.
I know we're never 3-0 up in games anymore, are we, in coasting? But I'd love to see him come on for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, if we are coasting in a game and we can afford it. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah,
Bielsa's very stubborn, isn't he? And he just doesn't see. I don't know. He must. Phil Hay said he's gone down the pecking order a lot, didn't he? So I don't know.
Probably needs a loan spell, and I think we'll probably have to sign. If Eddie goes back, we'll just have to get another loan in.
Yeah.
Thing is, though, it'd be difficult too if you send Eddie back for not playing, and you approach another club saying, "Can we loan your striker?" They might be going, "Well, why would we give him to you if you're not going to play him?"
Yeah, exactly.
That is a worry.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, it is an interesting one. But yeah, Eddie Nketiah, he will return to training on Thursday. Elsewhere, work on the Centenary Square has already started. Charles, have you seen this yet?
Yeah, saw a picture of it today. Actually, I heard it was being kind of constructed, and that I saw a picture of Alioski cutting some ribbon today and pointing
with his teeth, or
with a chainsaw while wearing a toga.
He'll have been dressed as a French maid or something. I don't know, something random.
Pointing to his own brick, and it amazed me the fact he's had 92 appearances for Leeds. I know he's played for us for 3 years, but even still, that shocked me.
92 lunatic appearances.
Yeah, he is. Out on the fringe, that lad, but he appears to be enjoying himself, and he put a nice Twitter. I was going to say Twitter tweet, but that sounds ridiculous. He put a nice tweet up about how he's honoured to be up on the wall with all the legends of the last 15 years, of which there have been few.
I heard somebody at Leeds told me that he puts metal spoons in tea up at Thorpe Arch and waits till it gets hot, and then he goes up to Luke Ayling and puts it on the back of his neck.
I believe that.
And burns him. Apparently kids do this in schools. I never did that at school, but just goes up and it just burns their neck.
What?
And that just made sense.
No, but it's like I used to do that to family members all the time. I used to get like a freezing can of Coke out of the fridge and just hold it to somebody's face. It's just just to wind them up.
It's probably the most sane thing Alioski actually does.
Yeah, it's totally unsurprising.
That is when he's not diving into big piles of cushions.
Yeah. That was while he was injured. There was a video that came out of him jumping into cushions and while he's out injured, and people were like, "Well, that's the reason you're injured. Stop."
For everyone,
jumping off the couch.
Pablo was going to take a free kick and he bit him in the stomach.
Yeah,
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember when Pontus gave him a hug and he turned around and tried to punch him? No, but he was saying Alioski got interviewed on Tuesday night, and he was saying that we were talking about this on the car on the way up. Adam Pope was asking him, "Oh, did you think you were going to get the goal?" And it's like, "We are confidence."
We are confidence.
Not we are confident. We are confidence.
We are
the concept of confidence.
He's a nutcase.
I heard though, they told me at least, it was a lovely story actually, that, he comes from, poverty, very poor background, so... And apparently when he was doing his signing, his mum and dad were there like in tears, because this transforms their lives,
Right.
And it's kind of like he's been given this golden ticket and he's going to make sure every chuffing day is, full of insanity and joyousness and craziness. And it's like every day he wins the lottery, almost, kind of
brilliant.
thing. So it's quite nice in a way that he's, this nuts bit of him is just really that he can't believe how great his last turned out.
His hair's been kind of dyed much more like really light blonde, and it's like almost like bright white blonde.
Yeah.
And so people, I was chatting with the people in the pub, like on the Square Ball podcast. They said it looked like Grindelwald from Harry Potter. I thought it looked like is it Rutger Hauer from Blade Runner?
Yeah, there's an element of that.
It looks a bit like that.
There's a bit of 80s pop star in there as well,
Yeah. Speaking of that BBC video Leeds, he also said that whenever teams beat Leeds United, it's like they've just beaten Real Madrid.
Which I thought was really
really
arrogant of him to say. But you love that kind of arrogance in your attacking players, especially, don't you?
I love it. Could do no wrong for me, honestly.
I don't know how we've gone on to discuss
anyway, back to Centenary Square.
Yeah, back to Centenary Square. It looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like the idea. I don't really like the idea that it's every player, because I think certain players should be omitted.
Yeah, well,
Harry Kewell, for one, should have his brick smashed to pieces.
Yeah.
I wonder if that will stay intact. You can imagine somebody had a few ales and just getting a marker pen out or something.
Scribbles out all the least favourite players.
Just like Judas on his brick.
You can see it, can't you?
But on the wall there's a list of every single player who's played for Leeds United. Some of them don't have first names. It's like Mr. Naylor or stuff. But of course, the West Ham did set fire. I think it was in 1959, and it burnt a load of records. And a lot of records went. So basically, people don't know who actually played. A lot of people they kind of have an idea. But yeah, it's like Mr. Naylor,
underappreciated players that they're kind of heroes as well. Like from the League One era, I was always a big fan of Paddy Kisnorbo.
Oh, I loved him.
Yeah, it was he was a proper old-fashioned centre half.
Yeah, proper warrior, wasn't he? That Man United game, he was immense in that.
Yeah, the fact he just wore a bandage on his head for ages for good luck.
I tell you what, somewhere in the West End, I went and saw quite a while ago, and on walls there's like pictures of like really fantastic Leeds United teams, and there's one picture of Brian McDermott's 2014 team, and I was like, why is that there? Why
to remind you of how shit it got. You need that, don't you?
I think we need a statue for David Hockaday, just as a monument for how bad we were and how good we now are.
Yeah.
No, do you know what summed it up for me? Mini-me off Austin Powers turning up in a Leeds shirt in East Stand. Do you remember? That summed it up for me. That was just a normal day at Leeds United. Chuffing Mini-me.
Do you remember those? I think it was last year or a year before when them two Italian kind of reality stars like ran out of the West Stand and were running down the pitch. One of them was wearing like one of those big fur coats, and nobody knew who they were.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
it just became like you were on acid every day. You went to
was just
Road.
weird, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was bizarre. Has anyone bought a brick for Centenary Square yet?
No, because I'm a student. It cost a bomb.
I bought one.
I think the cheapest is like £80.
Yeah, the cheapest one's £70, and then you can get a certificate which is £10. And I got a brick and a certificate, so I spent £80 in total because I missed out on one in Bremner Square.
No, I've got one in near Billy. I've got me and Danny have got one. Yeah, so and I didn't. Yeah, one's enough.
Yeah, one's enough.
How many times can you be in the actual structure of the club? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I got one. It says Ed McIntyre LUFC forever, just the bog standard one that he recommended you because I'm not creative at all. But yeah, I bought a brick. Because I missed out. So I'm looking forward to seeing that go up. But yeah, Centenary Square, that's all started. If you haven't got a brick yet, then definitely go look at that and buy one. Time to look ahead then to Leeds United's next game. We take on Middlesbrough at Elland Road on Saturday.
Johnny
3
Woodgate's
p.m. kick-off as well.
Yeah,
of course, former Leeds player Jonathan Woodgate is the manager of Middlesbrough. He's sure to get a good reception, Charles, isn't he?
Yeah, it was. I mean, until Ben White came along, he was the greatest centre-back we had of this century. But yeah, he got a bit ruined by injuries, didn't he? And then he went over to Real Madrid and was not so good over there.
Well, his debut, he got sent off, didn't he? Scored an own goal.
Scored an own goal and got sent off in the same game. That was classic Leeds anyway, wasn't it?
But yeah, it was really good for us. And even though he was got into a bit of trouble with Lee Boyle off the pitch, which we won't discuss for legal reasons. He was a really good player for us, and I think he'll get appreciated by the crowd.
Yeah.
I think there was rumours that Harry Kewell was going to join the Middlesbrough staff, and I find it rather curious that that before Leeds play him at Elland Road, Harry Kewell hasn't joined the staff. I wouldn't be surprised to learn that he's joined them on Sunday morning.
Yeah.
An hour after the game's finished. Lee
6 o'clock suddenly signs up. Yeah.
Come out your cave, Harry.
Middlesbrough, they aren't doing well this season at all. They're currently, after 17 games, they do play Barnsley at home tonight.
The whipping boys of the league, so they'll probably get 3 points.
But after 17 games, they've only won 2 games, drawn 8 and lost 7. To 22nd in the relegation zone, third from bottom, on 14 points, only 2 points from safety. So they're not doing well this season. They haven't won since a 1-0 victory against Reading at home back on the 14th of September. They've drawn 6 and lost the other 5. They haven't lost one of the last 5 games, though, the other 4 being draws, of course. So they'll certainly want to push higher up the table and get away from that relegation zone. But, I mean, the crap. the crap. Andy, we surely should be winning this.
Yeah, but we surely should be beating everybody, shouldn't we? I mean,
there's only about 4 teams in this league where you think, that might be a tough one.
You don't know, do you? We could play bloody, Horsforth St Margaret's under-10s on Saturday. We should win it 76-0, and we probably, they'll equalise in the last minute.
We've lost games to Histon and Sutton United, mate.
Yeah, I mean, we might. I keep saying this every week. We're finally going to give somebody the tonking we've been threatening, and I'm sick of me.
It's not going to happen.
I'm quite happily 1-0 our way to the Premier League, to be honest. I'm not bothered about this.
It's not good for my heart. That's all. I just like to relax, and I don't enjoy watching us.
I enjoy watching the highlights of games we've won. That's nice.
But when I'm there, it's awful, and I just like to be 3-0 up with 15 minutes to go and just sit back and enjoy.
Well, the last season game against Reading, when we were 3-0 up at half time, and you thought, well, this isn't really a Leeds game, is it? Because there's no emotional pressure on this now. There's no way we can ruin this.
It was great just to relax, but I think we will win.
Yeah.
3-1.
1-0.
1-0. I'm going to go 2-0 to Leeds United. WhoScored.com, they say that Middlesbrough have no strengths whatsoever.
As a club, as a fan base, or as a team.
But they have no strengths. Weaknesses: finishing scoring chances, avoiding offside, defending against skillful players, defending set pieces, aerial duels, and stopping opponents from creating chances.
Middlesbrough are struggling at defending set pieces.
Yeah, and aerial duels.
That's all they do is defend set pieces.
That's the only thing they've got in their locker.
Yeah. WhoScored?
That and long throws, Roy Delap style long throws.
WhoScored.com, they say that Middlesbrough style of play is taking long shots, attempting crosses often, attempting through balls often, attacking down the right, and opponents play aggressively against them.
Their strengths are playing football.
Yeah, that's just normal
stuff that everyone does in every
single
football
style of
game.
play. That's their style of play. They have no strengths whatsoever. They have a lot of weaknesses.
They're playing Johnny Howson at right back.
Are they really?
Yeah,
Is he at right back?
Yes, they're playing at right. What is going on here?
Why is he not in midfield?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you that.
I've got a pair of his shorts in my cellar.
Have
that's
you?
Another story.
Did you give them? Did you steal them from his house?
No, my mate knew his granddad or something, and I didn't even ask for them. They just ended up in my cellar.
Man on the pitch and just took them off.
They're hanging on my cellar head.
Someone said, "Do you want a pair of Johnny Howson's shorts?" And you didn't ask any questions.
No, just took them. They're massive and all. Like, he's right skinny. They're massive. They're like a pair of curtains. Anyway,
are you sure they're his shorts?
Probably Thomas Brolin's.
Someone wore them.
Pierre Michel Lasogga's shorts.
Yeah.
Someone bought
Get
them.
in the box, you fat.
Someone wore them, stained them with grass, and then just said, "These are Johnny Howson."
Yeah. He signed them actually.
Has
says some pants. I think it says some pants for pants or something. But you can't read the signature. It could have been anybody's.
That Lasogga video makes me laugh every time.
Every time. Get in the box, you fat.
C word,
and then bang, bottom corner.
Yeah, mental.
That Millwall game was mental. 4-3 loss. We were 3-2 up in like 88 minutes as well.
Yeah. Middlesbrough, they're awful. Leeds, of course, go into it on the back of 4 wins in a row, 7 games unbeaten. It's important to keep that run going into our next few games. As we've said many times, they're all winnable. Huddersfield away, and then a few games
Huddersfield away is always a hard one,
yeah,
isn't it?
it is. But
no matter how crap they are, they turn up.
Yeah, they'll race the game, won't they?
Yeah. But our next few games, they are winnable, really. And especially heading into the festive period, it's important to go on a run and pick up
Who've we got after
points.
The dog botherers?
I don't know, actually. Who is it?
I'm going to have a look now.
I think I think over the Christmas period, I've actually got a few hard games.
But we've got Hull at home and then Cardiff at home.
If we could hammer somebody, I think it could set us up for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
The confidence is already pretty decent anyway, I think. But if we give somebody a 4-0 hammering, I think we'll fly.
I don't know, I think the confidence is high at the moment because we think, even if it's coming to like 85, 86, 87 minutes, we're going to win this.
Yeah.
And that's a great trait to have.
That's what Forshaw said on telly the other day. He said exactly that with that last-minute Bamford goal at Luton. He said we always think we know we can keep going. We know we're fitter than everybody else.
Yeah. We know that we can always win a game, even if we're 5-0 down with 90 seconds ago. We believe that we can win.
Might be pushing it a bit, but
yeah, probably. But yeah, important to keep the run going. Obviously, we do have an average record against Middlesbrough. Drew both games last season, 0-0 at Road, and then 1-1 away there.
Awful. It was a proper awful game.
Yeah, and then of course that 1-0 draw away there. Callum Phillips scored the latest ever goal for Leeds United, 111 minutes.
It was 101
of course, Jack
minutes,
got
right?
ill, didn't he? And Jack Clark got ill, didn't he? So there was that.
Yeah, he had that kind of Red Bull incident on the bench.
That was the first time my son has hugged me in about 10 years when that goal went in. Because it's not cool to hug your dad. And that goal went in.
How old's your son?
He's 16 now. And he hadn't hugged me since he was about 6. Because it's just not cool, is it? And when that Phillips header went in, he hugged me. And I thank Calvin for that forevermore.
Yeah, nice. Well, yeah, surely this game is going to be a win. Andy, score prediction again?
Borough.
I can't see him scoring against us.
I can't either.
It'll be the Tonkin. 4-0.
4-0.
1-0.
Yeah. I mean,
We will miss 15 chances and we will score one that doesn't look like it's going to go in. And we will win the game, and the last 5 minutes will be long balls into our box with everyone shitting themselves in the stands.
Yeah.
Looking at the watches and shouting at the referee.
No, it's got to change at some point. It has to change.
4-0. I like
come
4-0.
Come back to this podcast after we played that game. I guarantee you I'm right.
Brilliant. I mean, they do have some good attackers as Sombalonga, but
he couldn't hit a band or
2-0. 2-0 Leeds. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
We do need to end the podcast on a sad note, though. We are recording this 8 years to the day since Gary Speed passed away at the age of 42.
Yeah.
Leeds United legend. Rest in peace, Gary Speed. Really devastating.
Brilliant footballer, Leeds legend.
Yeah.
Well, he was from my era, yeah, and he won the league. And I know a few people who've met Gary Speed. I know Bryn Law quite well. And he was obviously one of his close mates.
That Sky Sports piece, the camera that he did where he started crying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my mate Dave Simpson, Dave wrote a book called The Last Champions, which is a great book. And he interviewed most of that league-winning squad. And he said Gary was the loveliest one. He said he didn't want any money for it. He just met him in a Costa. He bought him a coffee. He said it was just like going to pub with your mate. He said, do you want any money? You don't have to give me money to just chat about winning the league. Don't be daft, you know. And he said anytime you want to meet up again and chat more. He said he was just as lovely as everyone says, you know what I mean? Really humble and that.
Yeah.
And cliche, but I watched him God knows how many times. He never didn't give 100%, do you know what I mean? As cliched as that can be, he literally ran his socks off every game. And he's one of them few players who would have been fit enough to fit in Bielsa's team, I think. You know,
he was a fantastic player, Leeds United legend. So, rest in peace, Gary Speed. But that does bring us to the end of episode 45 of the All Things Leeds podcast, the anniversary podcast. Thank you very much, as always, to Charles for joining me in the studio.
Thanks for having me on, mate, on the anniversary.
Yeah, and thank you very much as well to Andy McVeigh for coming in. Really do appreciate it.
Party poppers, you were lying.
I made no such promises. You have to address your complaints to the podcast.
I just forgot to buy him. I forgot to buy him, basically. Really do appreciate you coming in.
No worries, I've enjoyed it. Thanks very much.
Need to get you one again at some point.
Yeah, anytime.
Thank you as well to everyone who has listened or watched. We really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed them, why not subscribe or follow the podcast? Give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts if you're listening on there. Share the podcast around as well. Make sure to follow All Things Leeds on social media, when Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Search up All Things Leeds 1 on Twitter and Instagram. Search up All Things Leeds on Facebook. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as well if you have not already. Just search up All Things Leeds. Follow Andy McVeigh on Twitter as well, at PantsDanny.
Can do if you want.
Check out all the paintings across Leeds, across the city of Leeds. Follow Charles on Twitter as well.
Mine's at Ups and Downs 999. I have a few controversial views, so if you don't really like that.
Is that the number you ring when we're hanging into a lead at last minute?
Yeah, basically? I mean, it genuinely is.
You need to check his Twitter profile picture.
It's my profile pic is it's Neil Warnock's face on Colonel Gaddafi's body and hair.
That's right. Okay, that's already given me a nightmare, but fair enough.
I mean, it's genuinely terrifying, but I thought it was so funny I couldn't look past it.
Yeah.
But obviously follow Ed too.
Yeah, at Ed_McIntyre at 98 on Twitter. I am. Make sure to follow all of us. Me and Charles, we will be back next week. But for now, take care and we'll see you soon.